Hello and welcome. We just got finished reading Native American Myths and Legends. This story was The Sacred Weed, which is about how Indians got the pipe to smoke and Nawakosis, the smoking weed. And it starts off with four brothers who are each gifted a vision of how to create pipes and how to plant the weed and how to use it for rituals, including the songs and the dances that you're supposed to do. And they get all of this, and they're told to go and share it with everybody. And then they don't share it with anybody. But because they now have Nawakosis, since they have learned how to create the weed and create tobacco from it, they become wise and they become strong and powerful because they're essentially granted access to the knowledge of the gods, I guess is the best way of putting it. And so this allows them to just become above everyone else. And instead of sharing like they were told to do, they kept it all for themselves. And everyone else knew that they were supposed to share. They said that it's not right that they hold all of this for themselves. This is meant to be shared with everybody. So why aren't they doing what they're supposed to do? So a man named Bull by himself and his wife try and figure out where Nawakosis is. And so they keep going out and out and out, but they can't find it. And then the wife eventually hears some singing coming from a beaver's den. And the man can't hear it, so he thinks it's just her imagination. And she's going, no. There's singing coming from here. I know it. I recognize the singing. And so they go, and they dig a hole inside the beaver den, and inside of it, they see beavers dancing and smoking. And so they're like, hey, you have access to the Nawakosis that we're looking for. Can you teach us where to find it and how to use it and how to share it with other people? And so the beavers, tell them, close the hole and we will come over to your house and we will teach you everything. And whenever they come over, they turn into men, 4 men, which I don't know why there's four brothers and then 4 beavers. I don't know why the 4 matters, but, it's interesting that the people granted it were 4, and the beaver people who were also 4 seem to have just always had this knowledge. I don't know if that's really a relevant point, but, just pointing things out as I see them. And so what the beavers did is they taught Bull by himself and his wife about the Nawakosis. They gave him some. They also said, which is interesting, so, they said the man beavers, whenever they found out that powerful men kept the knowledge of the Nawakosis to themselves, the beavers said this is wrong. This is meant to be shared with others. So what they said is they go out and get the skin of every 4-legged and 2-legged creature that lives in and around the water, except, of course, beaver. You must get the skins of the muskrat and otter, of the duck and kingfisher, of all creatures like that, because they represent water. Sun and water mean life. Sun begets life, and water makes it grow. So I'm also not 100% certain why sun and water are brought up for tobacco. I guess it's the 2 things that are necessary to grow tobacco. And it's also, they were told to plant the Nawakosis in a place that gets sunlight and shade, and to use soil that is both brown and black. So I guess you could really think of the tobacco, the Nawakosis, as something that inhabits every aspect of life, which is probably why it's sacred. So it's like it's part water, and it's part fire, and it's part brown soil, and it's part black soil, and it's knowledge. It grants knowledge because it uses every aspect of the world around us, and whenever you smoke it, it helps you transcend. I've never smoked, so can't really say on that part, but for them, that's what it is. And a lot of people like to smoke. It's coming back in fashion as just like a hobby. So maybe there's something to it. Or maybe they just like smoking. A lot of people just like it because. And so they're while they're gathering all these materials, the man beavers continue to come over and teach them more and more about the rituals and about how to make pipes and how to plant. And they have to plant by funneling the seeds into 4 deer horns into the soil, and then they have to dance on top of the soil as they sing. And then slowly the Namakosis begins to grow, and the four brothers hear about Bull by himself and his wife. And it's also, should be said, that the beavers, after teaching Bull by himself and his wife everything, they end up leaving. They just go, we've taught you everything, you need to wait for it to grow, and then you need to share this with everybody else because it's meant to be shared. And so the four brothers hear about Bull by himself and his wife and what they're trying to do, and they're like, well, this is foolish. We were told and given visions of Namakosis. We're the special ones. We have kept this for ourselves, and we have become more powerful and more wise than everybody else. So whatever they're doing, it's just to distract us. It's just fake. And they send somebody out to go figure out what they've got, and the guy's like, it's Namakosis. And they're like, no. Obviously a lie. And so later on, what does it say? No, it can't be some. The weeds are planting. Okay, says no one but us can use it. No one but us has its power. But when it came time to harvest Namakosis, a great hailstorm destroyed the secret tobacco patch of the four medicine brothers. Nothing was left, and they had not saved a single weed. And they took this as a sign that the Namakosis that Bull by himself and his wife planted was actually the Namakosis, and that they had been essentially betrayed by God, even though they technically were the ones who betrayed God by not sharing it whenever that was what they were meant to do. And so it's interesting that they don't try and take the knowledge back. It's like they accept their lot. They're just like, we failed the task, and now Bull by himself, having willfully gone out and taken the steps to find the answer, was granted access to the answer, and he did it with an open heart, intending to share it with everybody. And because of this, everyone was able to prosper and become more wise. And so, and they've been smoking it in the manner ever since. So they fulfilled what tobacco was meant to be used for, what Namakosis was meant to be used for, and it was meant to be shared. So this is a good thing. This is what was intended. This is what was supposed to happen. I think it's pretty good. I think, I think I've said mostly everything just in the description because I kind of pulled out points from it. It seems that tobacco, as everybody knows, you have like a peace pipe that you would smoke between people. And I wonder if the reason it's a peace pipe is it's supposed to be like we're transcending the idea of, anger and hatred, or if it's just because it's a sacred thing. Whenever you share it with somebody, you're kind of like inviting them into your space, into your same knowledge and wisdom and life and soul in some sense, or your tribe, because usually tribes would each have their own rituals, I suppose. And this would allow, I don't know, it's just a way to transcend and to get closer to God in a sense, because you become more knowledgeable. So it's just, I don't know, it's a spiritual practice. I don't really know what else to say about it. But I mean, if you have more things to say about it, if you know more than me about why it's culturally significant in more ways than I've been able to piece together so far, let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and check out one of the other videos right here. Thank you.